weekend. Now, a special treat for us this morning. I'm delighted to say we're joined by the Sultans of Ping FC drummer Morty McCarthy, all the way from Stockholm. Hey, Morty, how are you?
Sounds familiar.
How are you getting on? Can you hear us all right, Morty?
Hi there, can you hear us?
I can, yeah, loud and clear coming through. How are you getting on?
Getting on fine here, getting ready for the gigs this weekend in Cork. We have 2 shows to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the WLP.
A homecoming, it must be pretty exciting.
It's very exciting, yeah. I mean, we haven't played in Cork since 2014. You know, we don't play that often, so it's really nice to go back home and celebrate the album's release.
So, was that a life-changing moment when the album comes out? Do you know that it's going to be successful when you're recording it? What was that like?
Well, I suppose, you know, the previous year when Where's My Jumper was the first single came out, I mean, you know, it did very well and the subsequent singles did well also. So, I mean, we kind of knew the album would do pretty okay. Yeah, it was a whirlwind, to be honest. The first 2 or 3 years of the band, we were constantly touring, you know, mostly in the UK and a lot in Europe and out in Japan. So it was a fantastic time for the band. So it's nice to get to play all these tracks again.
How did you guys all come together?
So Niall started the band, the singer. He was in Rochestown College, and then I actually saw the band. Their first ever Cork gig was '89, and really liked the band. So I ended up being the manager, and then in '91 I started playing drums for them, and we signed in 1991 in June.
Right. Okay. So that is a whirlwind. What age are you at that stage?
So I was 22, and the lads were just 20. So yeah, we're very young, very innocent.
And I'd say having the time of your lives.
Having the time of my lives, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, I was a Cork City fanatic at the time, and I loved the band, but I do remember 1993 when City actually won the league for the first time. I missed the game because Sultans, we were playing a show in Holland, so there was a bit of a divide there sometimes between the football and the music.
Were you tempted to miss the gig and watch the match? Is that like, was there a bit of tension?
I was sorely tempted. I mean, you know, a Cork team hadn't won the league since 1974, so to miss, you know, 19 years later, to miss the penultimate game up in the RDS was very hard to take. But I was glad we won. We won anyway because I'd seen us lose too many times.
Do you still get plenty of Cork games in, Morty? I know you're living in Sweden at the moment, so I'm sure it makes it a little bit more difficult to watch them.
Yeah, it's a bit more difficult than before, but yeah, I do get, you know, 6 or 8 games a season. I'll go off to Dublin one weekend if there's a good game in Dublin, and I get home quite often, so I'm there as often as I can.
You're not tempted to follow a team over there?
So Hammarby is our team in Stockholm, so myself and my son have season tickets. They're hugely supported. They're kind of more of a cult team, to be honest. They've only ever won the league once, and they've been going over 100 years. But no, I really enjoy it, but it's not the same as your home club, obviously. But my son loves it, so I enjoy going to the games with him.
There's obviously a shared interest in football in the band. Like the clip, the song that we play out on the football show is obviously "Give 'Em a Ball in the Yard of Grass." Was it a shared love of music and football? Which came first?
I would say both, actually. You know, I mean, we all went to this bar in Cork called the Liberty Bar, and everybody was, you know, fanatical about music and sport. I mean, within the band, I think Niall and Pat, they didn't really rate the League of Ireland. Used to laugh at me going to see League of Ireland games. Niall is a huge Forest fan and still goes to games regularly in the UK, but they just made fun of me all the time for supporting League of Ireland. But I've stuck with it, yeah, and I think they're coming around now. They've been to a few games when they've been back in the last few years.
What's the crack with Give 'Em a Ball in the Yard of Grass? What's the backstory to it?
So that was Niall, again, Forest. It's a song about Nigel Clough, who played for Forest back then. We had a very close association with Forest. We played a lot in Nottingham. Stuart Pearce used to come to the gigs. Nottingham Forest actually released a flexi disc of that song first, which was given out to all the fans at the City Ground. And we've never actually met Nigel. He came to the show one time in Sheffield, but we still haven't met him. So maybe someday.
There you go. Surely this now, 30 years on, now's the time to do it.
30s, yeah, so maybe take a trip to Burton if he's still there. I'm not sure if he's still at Burton or not, but yeah, it would be great to see him.
Surely there's Roy Keane link in here somewhere then. We've got Cork and Nottingham Forest. You're ticking a lot of boxes here, Morty.
I know, it's amazing. You know, we've never actually met Roy Keane. You know, we obviously idolise the guy. He's a true Cork warrior, but we've never met him. But, you know, we follow him and we enjoy his football punditry on TV.
Are you allowed to pick a favourite song, or is that like asking between, or to choose your favourite kid?
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah. I mean, I like two of the slower songs actually. I guess Let's Go Shopping and 2 Pints of Raza would be my two favourites from the record. So we'll be playing both of them this weekend.
The decision to come back and do a 30th anniversary tour, is it easy? Because the comforting blanket of nostalgia, even when you're talking about 2 Pints of Rasa and Let's Go Shopping, they're amazing. The whole album just worked as this delicious little slice of pop and indie glory. It was very much a product of its time, but now, like, it still sounds fresh and brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I think the internet especially has been very, very kind to us. And the likes of yourself playing Give 'Em a Ball. So the name has kind of been kept in the public eye through the years, through various things. And yeah, I mean, we don't play too often these days. I think we'd be knackered, to be honest, if we had to do a tour. So I mean, just a couple of shows a year is enough just to keep it going. We really enjoy it.
I remember about 10 years ago being on one of those work night outs where it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and you end up in the club and you're like, I have not been in the club in a very long time. And then Where's My Jumper comes on and all the kids are going mad. I'm like, all right. So Where's My Jumper obviously has just had a second life and a third life and a fourth life. It's kind of immortal.
Yeah, and I think the Young Offenders movie and the series was obviously very, very popular with the younger kids in Ireland, and Where's My Jumper finished out the movie. So I think that's probably got a lot to do with it as well, to attract a new audience, for sure.
So 2 gigs this week in Cork. What's the rest of the year looking like for you guys?
We don't know, to be honest. We're like people who play in the cup match. If we get knocked out, that's it. But maybe we'll go into extra time and get into the next round. So we never actually decide on doing another show until we finish one. So we'll see after the weekend in Cork what we're going to do.
Are you all still mates after all the years?
Oh, we're all still good mates. Yeah. Where we just sit in the pub and talk about football, basically. To be honest, that's what we do when we get together. We could do a bit more practice. I think we spend too much time talking football and not enough time practicing. But it's kind of always on the edge of chaos. But it generally works out on the night.
You had a big weekend for Cork in the GA as well. Morty, I know you follow the GAA. We were just chatting to Anthony Miles about it. I mean, proper dual county and really impressing on both fronts of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cork has really suffered in the last 15, 20 years, sporting-wise. I mean, the hurlers haven't won for such a long time. So it was great to win against Limerick, who are a fantastic team. So there's hope, I think. And the footballers had a fantastic win. I was disappointed they lost to Meath, but great win up in Kildare. And Cork City are back in the Premier League again after a couple of year absence. So I think the future's looking bright for Cork, but we still have a bit of work to do if we want to catch up with the likes of Limerick and Shamrock Rovers, if we want to compete at the top table again.
Well, listen, tickets are available on corkoperahouse.ie. Morty, it's great to have you with us. Finally make contact after all these years of playing the song in the evening. We have a great response to it every time it goes out, and we're delighted to be able to. So thanks a million and enjoy the gig.
Thanks a lot, lads. All the best.
It's Morty McCarthy there, the drummer with the Sultans of Ping FC.